Happy day, students. This is a part 2 video of chapter 3, Our Changing Earth from Geography. We shall start with understanding about the major landforms formed. We need to understand that the landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes. They are the weathering and erosion. Weathering is the breaking up of the rocks on the Earth's surface. So that's weathering. And erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind, and ice. What happens to the eroded material? Any idea? Right. The eroded material is carried away or transported by water, wind, etc., which are called as the eroding agents. And eventually it gets deposited elsewhere. Now, this process of erosion and deposition is set to create the different landforms that we observe on the Earth's surface, right? So, in the following slides and to come, we're going to observe about the different works of the eroding, or we can say the agents that helps in erosion and weathering, right? So here we have the work of a river. The work of river here means the action of water. What happens? The running water from the river erodes the landscape when the river tumbles at steep angle over very hard rock surface down a steep valley. It forms the waterfall. As the river enters the plain, it twists and turns and forming large bends. Okay, can you see? From the waterfall, it just enters into the plain regions with great speed. So as it enters, it just tries to find way. So when it is in that process, it leads to the twisting and turning part. There it forms the meanders. And due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, these are the sides. Okay, along the sides of the meander, it ends in the meander loop that comes closer and closer. In due course of time, this meander loop gets cut off from the main river, resulting in the formation of Oxbow Lake. Now, why this name? Just see here, this is the pin of the oxbow. It has the similar shape and hence it is called Oxbow Lake. Right. At times, the river that's meandering through the plains is said to overflow its banks. This leads to flooding of the neighboring areas. As it floods, it deposits layers of fine soil and other material called sediments along the banks. This leads to the formation of flat, fertile flood plain. Next, we have the levees. What are these levees? Levees are the raised banks of the river. As the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases and it leads to the formation of breaking up of the main stream of river into many number of branches, which is called the distributaries. The river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. So that's what we see here, each distributary forming its own mouth. This collection of sediments of load that the river had been carrying all through its path from all the mouths forms the delta region. So this is the work of the river with all its features, starting with the waterfall, and then from the waterfall the river just meanders through the plains, and as the force gets higher and higher, the meander cuts off to form the Oxbow Lake, and after its path is about to end, when it reaches the sea coast, its load gets heavier and the speed gets lower, which leads to the formation of different branches, which we call the distributaries, and the sedimentary load is what we call delta. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.